Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Marketing Made Easy by Jottful show. I'm your host, Dawn Verbrugge. We have a great guest on today. Business coach Laura Khalil is going to talk to us about the step-by-step process she takes her own clients through to help them build a sturdy referral business. We all know that referrals are magic because they tend to be more qualified than other leads and also less expensive than marketing source leads. You're really going to learn a lot from this episode. Enjoy the show.
My business is just me, so I need a marketing plan that I actually have time to do.
I never studied marketing, but I know I have to do it. Sometimes I just need help knowing where to begin.
I never know if the money I spend on marketing is really paying off.
Welcome to Jottful's Marketing Made Easy. I'm Dawn Verbrugge, Jottful's CEO, two-time entrepreneur, former business school professor, and the one with the marketing experience.
And I'm Natalie Bruno, Dawn's partner in crime, certified people person, and the one who speaks with small business owners every day about their website and marketing challenges.
We're here to have practical and fun conversations with people who know a thing or two or three about how to get more customers for your business.
Laura, can you start just by telling us a little bit about your background? Because you have a really interesting background and you have a lot of experience in marketing before you started this business.
Yeah, so I cut my teeth in Silicon Valley working in tech startups, and I encountered a problem that a lot of women encounter when they are bold, determined, opinionated, which was that I kept being told I needed to smile more, I needed to soften my language, I was intimidating the guys in the boardroom. And I kind of had enough of that. And I realized there wasn't anything wrong with me, but that I was not in a leadership role where I could chart my own course. So in 2013, I started my business doing marketing consulting. And I realized that very quickly, all of the things that had penalized me as a full-time employee were my greatest assets as a leader and entrepreneur. And in fact, being bold, being decisive, being outgoing, and knowing my own worth is what helped me land some of those very big clients like GE, Twitter, Intel, Intuit, and many more.
And now you work with consultants and help them land big clients like those, correct?
Absolutely. So I ran my marketing consultancy for a number of years. I still do work occasionally in that world. But as I was running my business and I would go speak more and I would talk about growing a business and what it really takes, I would hear from other freelancers, consultants, small businesses that were struggling, that were going under. And, you know, the research is really scary. Only 2% of women-owned businesses attain over $1 million in revenue a year. Only 2%. For male-owned businesses, it's about 4 times that. So when I saw this research coming through and when I saw people struggling, I thought, you know, I've been able to do this successfully for a number of years. And one of the greatest gifts I can give to other service-based businesses is to teach them the system that made me so successful.
So this whole series that we do at Jottful is really all about helping business owners find a way to predictably and consistently and reliably generate profitable leads for their business. And oftentimes when we're interviewing people, we're talking a lot about marketing channels, but you and I today are going to be talking much more about the foundational aspects of marketing, or really more strategic marketing. So basically the things you need in place in order to even make those marketing channels effective in the first place. And we are specifically going to be talking today about referral businesses, because a lot of your clients, and frankly, a lot of businesses generally rely on referrals and rely on word of mouth as their growth engine. So let's start by talking about what it is that a business needs to have in place in order to make that growth engine work. What do you talk to your clients about?
Great. So the first thing, I just want to touch briefly on marketing tactics, if I may, because a lot of people will say, well, should I be on Clubhouse? Or should I be on LinkedIn? Or should I be on TikTok? And the fact is, that if you don't have a strategy, which we're going to talk about today, if you
Mhm.
don't have a strategy, it doesn't matter. You're just going to be spinning your wheels, spending hours pumping out content, not getting clients. I built my entire business, a multi-six-figure business, without doing one blog post, without doing anything on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
without any of that, all through referrals. And that is
Yeah.
how most successful businesses are run.
Many, yes, many, especially those, that are consulting businesses or service businesses. Absolutely. Mhm.
Yes.
And
Now-
one of my pet peeves, and we hear this a lot in the software industry, which I'm in, is when people say, we did all of this without ever doing any marketing. Now, what they're speaking about are these marketing tactics, right? They weren't maybe spending money on advertising. In fact, usually what they're thinking about is advertising. Sometimes people think that marketing and advertising are the same thing, but they are doing marketing, because marketing is what you sell, to whom you sell it, at what price you sell it, where you make it available, and all of that. And that's what you really focus on, right, Laura?
Yeah, exactly. So let's just start at the beginning.
Mhm.
And I want to give everyone a phrase that you can remember, and that is that cash loves clarity.
Mhm.
Most businesses, especially small businesses, have a problem, a target market problem.
Mhm.
And what I mean by that is that they are not clear on who they serve.
Yep.
You have to be very clear on who you serve. You have to be very clear on what you offer. And third, you have to be very clear on what are the compelling problems and desires of that target market.
Mhm.
And if you do not have those three components in place before we ever talk about marketing, before we ever look at strategies or tactics, you will fall flat on your face.
Mhm.
The niche, we've heard this before, the niches are in the riches.
The riches are in the niches.
Yeah, the riches are in the niches. There
Yep.
we go. A lot of people are very, very scared
Yes.
to get narrow. Now, if I may, I'd like to talk about how I built my business, and I'll share a little bit about how this worked for me, because as a marketer, and Dawn, you know this, marketers, we feel like we can wear so many hats, especially if we've worked in the startup world. Well, I can do analytics, or I can do content, or I can do UX, or I can do web design. That is very problematic when we actually go into working as a consultant and we try to build a referral-based business. People need to get very clear on what they do. So in my business, here's the story. I got laid off on a Friday. The marketing department was eliminated. And so got laid off, and I said, okay, what am I going to do? First thing I did was build a very simple website. Website is critical to building your credibility. On that website, it is. It's absolutely critical. Everyone needs a website.
Yep.
What I put on that website is, this is who I am. This is exactly what I do, and this is who I serve.
Yep.
Now, for me, because I worked in the tech world, I did a lot of tech marketing. So that's a very specific type of marketing. And the people that I worked with were tech companies. And even more specifically, I worked with developer audiences. So software developer audiences. That not everyone needs to do that work. That's very specific work. That specificity meant that when I heard of an opportunity, or when I learned, someone said, hey, there's like GE's looking for someone to work with their developer team, I immediately am in a category of one.
Yep.
Because there are so few people who are willing to say, I do this work, that you look so trusted, so credible to the client, that it is an easy yes. And so actually, one of my very first contracts came in, it was with Intel, and it was 6 weeks after I even started the business. And all I did was say to my community, this is what I'm doing. I'm looking for technical marketing work focused on developers. Boom, came right through the door.
Yep.
And the next one came in, and the next one came in. And so, these came through referrals. These came through people who knew my work, who knew I was good at what I did. And because I was clear, because I was very crystal clear on what I offered, they felt comfortable, and people know how to refer.
Yes.
If I may just say one more thing, people want to refer you out. People want to help you guys. They do. Everyone wants to look, because it looks good to help someone connect to people. But if they're not clear on what you do and the problems you solve and how you serve the market, it makes you very hard to be referable. So that initial piece of getting clear on the target market, getting clear on the services you offer, and getting clear on the pain points, the main big compelling pain points of that target market are absolute game changers.
So I'm going to anticipate a question here.
Yeah.
We hear all the time from business owners, and I know that you hear it too from your clients, that one of the big challenges is figuring out which niche to focus on. One of the hardest things for business owners is to not chase after the other opportunities that come your way and to really focus on that niche. I think one of the big questions for people is, how small does a niche have to be? How do you know when you're focused enough?
Well, you've got to try, first of all. So have you talked to the market? Have you asked what they need? Have you done any research to find out what is needed in the market? I will tell you, for example, I have a client, her entire business is writing bios for executives. That's it. That's all she does. She charges $1,000 to $2,000 per bio. She's raking in the dough.
Brilliant.
For writing these. And she's just writing bios, guys. That's not an entire website. That's not case studies. I have another client, just writes case studies. All they do is write case studies for clients. And so, when you go to work with them, you're going to get an incredible case study because, that's what they do. I did developer marketing, very specific. So what I would say
to go to the case study example though, I'm willing to bet that it's not merely that she only writes case studies, but that she writes case studies for a specific industry. Yes. It's probably even more niche than case studies, right? Yeah. So it's about like finding the right amount of niche or the right nichiness.
Right. And so, one thing we can start off when we're trying to figure out what group do I want to serve? Like what's the area I really want to focus on is take a survey of the people in your network. So for example, I'll use myself because I did a lot of tech work. It's a natural for me to work with technology companies as a technology marketer. Now, for other people, they may work in the fitness industry. And so for them trying to suddenly leap to tech, they have no contacts in technology. They have no clout in that world. That would kind of be a harder lift. It's not impossible. It's just going to take a little bit longer because business is built at the pace that we can build trust. If you already have trust built in a certain area of your life, it's easier for you to make sales offers proportional to the amount of trust you've earned. So if you are already in an industry, start there. Start with what you know, and then you can branch out into other areas. But don't be afraid to start small. And as you earn trust and as the referrals begin to build, which they inevitably will, if you follow a few of my other steps, which we'll talk about in a minute, you will find yourself branching out and working with other industries. I have a very good friend. She started off purely in Detroit in education, doing consulting. She is now working with the Obama Foundation. She is now working nationally as a consultant. Why? Because she started really small. She started really small. She built the business. She built trust in one community. That sort of birthed more people hearing about her. It's an entirely referral-based business, multi-seven-figure business. She has never had to make a sale in her life. People come straight to her.
I love the way you describe it as sort of building this within a community, because there are multiple different ways to define community. You can think of it as a geographical area, like you said with this client in Detroit. You can also think about it as industry, right? You want to build it within maybe the technology industry, but community can also cut different ways. So as an example, at Jottful, when we were first starting out, we thought we wanted to niche down by industry. And so we started like going down different industries, trying to find the right industry for us. And ultimately we realized that actually what's best for us is the community of business owners who are just really small business owners. 0 to 4 employees is sort of our sweet spot. But we started by industries, and then we ended up saying, no, we're industry agnostic, and it's really about sort of 0 to 4. And we hear this all the time where somebody will say, look, I ultimately just focus on the Spanish speaking market. That's your community right there.
Exactly. You know, what I always say to people, if you're wondering if your niche is too small, if there's no one out for it, look around, do some research. Are there associations related to it? Are there meetup groups related to it? If there are, it tells you there's already a community that you can plug into.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there are no meetup groups, if there are no trade journals, if there are no conferences, if there are no associations, it's either most likely way too broad, which is the first mistake most people make. And you can't target everyone. So you got to go narrower, but that's how you look. Look to see evidence that exists in the world.
Awesome. So what's the next step in your process? So now we have a niche market. We're starting to find out where they hang out. So we're starting to understand how that market is an audience in some channels. What's your next step?
So I actually want to talk about marketing. Now, I know that you say marketing tactics, I believe marketing tactics in and of themselves do not get you clients. That's just like shooting in the dark. But marketing with a strategy of understanding your clients' pain points, where they live, where they hang out, and how you serve them can create awareness about what you have to offer. What I like to do then is I like to say, okay, we're creating awareness through thoughtful marketing. What's going to happen is that potential clients who are in your target market or niche are going to come and check you out often through your credibility markers. One of the most important is your website. And they're going to check you out and say, can this person help me get what I want? Now, how are they going to answer that question? You will have answered that question because you've already anticipated their compelling needs and desires. And if those are listed on your website as solutions you offer, they're going to say, he or she is legit. Okay, they can help me. Then they're going to go look around and see, do they have logos? Do they have other testimonials? What's their LinkedIn look like? Are there other channels that they may use? And you're going to show that you're credible. This will give you the opportunity to earn their trust. And as I said, you can start to make offers proportionate to the amount of trust that you have earned. And if you know how to price your services and have sales conversations, then you begin to book the business. And this is a repeatable system. So
Laura, can we just stop for a minute just so that everybody here is kind of level set on the definition of offers? You talked about different offers depending on how much trust you've earned. How do you define offers for everyone?
So when I work with my clients, typically what we're trying to do is come up with a high ticket offer, a mid-range offer, and a low ticket offer. As I said, trust is built at different speeds with different people. So for example, I have someone who has been on my email list for probably 4 years, who just emailed me the other day and said, Laura, I am so excited to let you know, I just bought your $120 online course. I'm thrilled. And I said, that's great. I'm so glad. Let me know how you like it. So it took 4 years to build the trust to spend $127 with me. I have another client who met me during a virtual meetup who said, you're exactly what we need. I want to do a VIP day with you, which is one of my mid-range offers. So that is a $4,500 offer. Now, they were able to make that decision after talking to me for 20 minutes in a group. Other people need years. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on different people. So we want to be able to give people offers that help earn their trust so that they then may, when the time is right for them, buy the mid-range or higher price point offer. But you always want to have something to be able to offer at different price points, whatever those price points are for you. They're different for everyone. So does that clear it up?
It does. And I think also one offer that you haven't mentioned is a free offer. Your
Exactly.
email newsletter is content that you're providing for free, right? It's valuable
Exactly.
content. Mhm.
And that's where we always start.
Yep.
So I want to talk a little bit, Dawn, if I might,
Please.
about client experience and customer experience,
Great.
because I said, people are going to come check you out, right? They're going to come to your website. They're going to see what's
Oh,
going
they're
on.
going to stalk you. They are.
Yeah, they are. They're going to stalk you. And you know
Mhm.
what we want? We want them to fall in love with you.
Yes.
We want them to fall in love with the business, your personality, what's going on. So think about the experience you want to give people from the moment they come to your website, from the moment they look at your social media. Am I showing them that I am trusting, that I am credible? And when I work and engage with a client, the way that we build trust, when someone raises their hand and says, hey, I'm kind of curious, I'd like to work with you. What is the experience that we lead them through from booking a discovery or sales call with us to signing a contract?
Mhm.
Think about these things. Be very thoughtful about, how do I show up for these things? What is the experience I'm giving them prior to the sales call? I have a whole, when people sign up for a sales call with me, they go through an entire experience before we ever get on the phone.
What's this experience? Tell me.
Yeah. Okay. So first, if you want to get on the phone with me, you
Mhm.
have to fill out a pretty intense questionnaire.
Mm.
What does that do? It, one, forces the prospective client to really think about why they want to talk to me, to really think about their challenges, and to help them prepare for the call.
Yep.
So
It also increases your exclusivity.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't talk to just everyone.
Right.
You've got to be serious.
Well, we're all grateful that you're talking to us today.
The next thing I do, and
Mhm.
friends, y'all can go see this on my website. This is not hidden. The next thing I do is I say, which price point are you looking at engaging with me on? So people have a sense already of understanding, oh, these are her prices.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, these are the ranges. Okay, that's an opportunity for people to opt out. And the
Mhm.
reason or to prepare themselves to know that's approximately around what I'm expecting to pay. And that's really important, because we don't want, in my opinion, we don't want anyone to get on a call with us and have sticker shock. I don't want someone to come on a call with me, just like Don, you said at the beginning of this, it's $99, correct?
Yeah, per page. Mhm.
To build a website.
With
99
Jottful.
bucks.
Mhm.
With Jottful. Everybody knows that right now. We're not wondering, is it $5,000? Is it $2,000? Is it 500? We know. And so people
Yeah.
who want to opt in and say yes to that, now it's an easy yes. So the same thing goes for me. They get after they book their meeting, they're required to fill out an additional questionnaire that helps me look at 29 different areas of their business. Takes about 5 minutes to fill out. It's a quick checklist, but it shows me where they need the most help.
Mhm.
I receive that before the call. And then when we get on the call, we can have a really meaningful discussion, because
Yep.
the discussion at that point isn't just, hey, who the heck are you? The discussion is, wow, thank you for telling me your challenges in your business. Thank you for filling out this questionnaire. Let's talk about it.
Mhm.
Let's see how we get you to the next level. And it makes those discovery calls, it makes your close rate on those discovery calls much higher, because
Yeah, well,
people have pre-qualified.
Exactly. They're qualifying themselves,
Yes.
and you're able to provide clear value on that first call, because you aren't doing all of the discovery on the call. You're coming to
Exactly.
it with a lot of the discovery done, and you're really adding value right away.
Absolutely. I want to say to everyone, marketing's job is to attract and repel. We have to be comfortable repelling people who are not right for us.
Mhm.
Okay, they're going to be right for someone else. So once someone comes in, just to pick up on client experience, once someone comes in as a client of mine, I want to invite everyone to consider the world of gifting. I know we're here to talk about referrals,
Mhm.
but one of the ways that we get referrals is by creating surprise and delight with our clients so that they talk about us.
Yeah.
And because we care. And so I am a big proponent of gifting. And I am not talking about creating 500 mugs with your logo on it, slapping it in the mail and sending to them. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about knowing that person well enough to send them something that is meaningful to them, perhaps based on a conversation you had or something else, because people will talk about you and they will be so grateful to you. So you want to think about that with your clients. If you want referrals, be thinking about, how do I surprise and delight this client? How do I show up in every interaction fully as myself? And how do I ask for a referral? Please ask for referrals to help these individuals help you. Because if you're doing great work, they want everyone to know. They want, all their friends to get in on it too, right? So that is client experience in terms of building your referral strategy is absolutely huge.
One day I reached out to my personal accountant and I said, hey, I don't know if you're accepting new referrals, but I know somebody who could use a tax accountant. And she just wrote me back and she said, Dawn, why on earth would you think I might not be accepting new referrals? And I realized it was because she never told me she was open to referrals. So how do I know as a customer that she's not fully booked, right? And I think that as business owners, we're often reluctant to ask for referrals, but the other party wants to refer you out because they want to help other people. Right?
Yep.
They want to help
be a resource.
Yeah, find a resource like you have, right? Like they want to help somebody get a website. So they want to be able to send a Jottful. Like it's our job to make sure they know that, hey, yeah, we're taking new customers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important. So, another strategy when we talk about building this referral network is, if you want to get referrals, start giving referrals.
Yes.
People think, why, gimme. Hang on a second. Hang on. Make it a commit. Honestly, this is a game changer for everybody. Commit to once a week introducing two people. Commit to once a week making a referral, making a recommendation, writing a testimonial for somebody's business that they didn't ask for.
I love it. On Alignable or on LinkedIn is great too, because then it's public.
Yeah. Exactly. And start to be that source of referrals, because people, again, the idea of surprise and delight, this helps people feel in the best possible way, indebted to you, in the best possible way. Like, oh my gosh, grateful. I just love that. They're grateful. They're so grateful and they want to help. And, it's not necessarily always going to be like a one-to-one. It's not like, okay, I did this for you. Now you're going to do this for me. But it creates a spirit of generosity and a spirit of abundance. And I want everyone to know that if you have a really clear target market, you're really clear on what you offer, and you are specific enough, you are really in a category of one. It is very rare that you're going to have really head-to-head competition in your direct area. And so I tell you that because your greatest referral partners might be people in your industry, marketers referring to other marketers, your type of, bakeries referring to other bakeries. And you may think, Laura, that's bananas. How could that possibly happen? It happens because you're not actually competitors. You can be collaborators, but that only happens if you're specific. If you're not specific, if you say, I do everything for everyone and I can market anything from, dog beds to software, I'm sorry, like what? That's bananas.
I can tell you right now that we do that all the time with website design agencies. They refer the small customers that they can't possibly work with to us, and we refer the bigger ones or the ones who need really, really custom work to them all the time. Exactly. And I think oftentimes these informal referral relationships can be much more productive for your business than an official partnership. I will tell you that those informal relationships have brought far more business to us than all of the partnerships that we actually put down on paper and spent a bunch of time negotiating and hiring, law firms to help us with.
Isn't that the truth? And you know what I love to see to your point, Don, I love to see people have 5 referral partners. I'd love to see you call, as a challenge to everyone in this, who's listening to this, who are 5 people who you could help and who are 5 people who could help you, where there's a really symbiotic relationship between your business and mine. So for example, there are a lot of people who, let's use real estate, because that's a really easy one to do. So there's often a very symbiotic relationship between real estate agents and contractors, or real estate agents and people do home inspections, or real estate agents and title companies. They work very well together. They constantly refer each other business. They constantly help each other out. So think about that. Yep. For your own business. Who are the people, who are the, who are associated, who are in my world, who I could help and who could help me at the same time? And hey, we all make money, right? That's the best thing ever.
All right, Laura, did you have any more tips for us?
I mean, I can go for hours.
Well, I do have one last question, but I don't want to cut you off because it's been great, but I do have one more question, which is, if you were to do it all over again, what would you do differently?
All right. So I'll tell you a little story.
Please.
One of the first contracts I got, one of the earliest contracts I got, I was on the phone with the client, and it was a really big company. I don't want to say who. It was a very, very big company that everyone knows. And they told me the scope of work, what they were looking for. And they said, well, how much would you charge for that? And I said, oh my God, like, what's the biggest number I can come up with? And I thought, I'll charge $15,000. And I just said it, and I was like, oh my God, $15,000. And the guy said back, he said, did you say 50? And I said, no.
You said no. Yes.
Right. No, I said no. I was like, oh my God, he's going to hang up. He's going to hang up if I said 50. And he said, oh, because everyone else has been quoting us 50. And I got the gig.
Of course you did.
Because I'm the best deal in town. That gig ultimately led to over $300,000 in referrals, by the way. So, but what was the biggest mistake I made? The biggest mistake I made was, to honest to God, not having an advisor or a coach to help me, not having someone help me see how big the world was, see how big the opportunities could be, because all I could see was what was in my field of vision, which was very narrow. And that honestly is the biggest mistake I made, because I could have potentially, instead of getting $300,000 in referrals, potentially gotten $600,000 in referrals, but I didn't know enough to do that. I didn't have an advisor. I didn't have a guide to show me the ropes and just show me how big the opportunities really were.
That is fantastic. That's a fantastic example. Thank you so much, Laura.
Well, that's a wrap. If you enjoyed this episode of Marketing Made Easy, please subscribe to Jottful's YouTube channel. That's Jottful. That way, you'll never miss an episode. We'll meet you on the next one.